Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic that might ruffle some feathers, but it's a conversation we need to have. We see them on TV, we read about them online. The preppers, with their bunkers full of canned goods, their walls lined with gear, and their detailed plans for the end of the world. They seem ready for anything. But what if I told you that for most of them, all that preparation would be useless? What if most so-called preppers wouldn't survive the first 24 hours of a genuine society-altering crisis? It's a shocking claim, I know, but it's based on a harsh reality that goes far beyond just having enough food and water. Today, we're going to explore the psychological, logistical, and scientific reasons why the typical prepper fantasy crumbles when it meets reality, and what truly prepared individuals do differently. So, let's break down the first and biggest hurdle: the psychological shock. You can have 1,000 MREs, but none of them can prepare you for the sheer terror and disbelief of a real disaster. Most prepping is a hobby, done in a world of comfort and safety. You organize your gear on a quiet Saturday. You test your bug-out bag in a familiar park. But a real crisis isn't a drill. It's the sudden, violent tearing of your reality. The power grid goes down, not for a few hours, but indefinitely. The internet vanishes. The sirens you hear aren't a test, they're a warning of something real and terrifying happening just outside your door. This initial shock triggers a powerful physiological response. Your body floods with adrenaline and cortisol, your heart rate skyrockets. Your cognitive functions, the very thing you need for complex problem solving, degrade rapidly. This is the fight, flight, or freeze response, and for many, the response is to freeze. They're paralyzed. All those detailed plans, all those memorized knots and survival hacks, they evaporate in a fog of panic. The person who spent years planning to be a lone wolf survivor suddenly finds themselves unable to even think clearly enough to lock their own doors. They become trapped in a state of analysis paralysis, waiting for a perfect moment that will never come, while the crucial first hours slip away. True preparedness isn't about eliminating fear, it's about learning to function despite it. It's about training your mind to stay calm and execute simple, pre-practiced actions even when your body is screaming at you to panic. Next, let's talk about the lone wolf fallacy. This is one of the most dangerous myths in the prepper community. The idea of the rugged individualist surviving alone against the world is a compelling fantasy. It's also a death sentence. Humans are social creatures. We have survived and thrived for millennia because of our ability to cooperate. In a crisis, your greatest asset isn't your AR-15 or your stockpile of beans, it's your community. The lone wolf prepper, hunkered down in their fortress, becomes an immediate target. They've isolated themselves. They have no one to watch their back while they sleep. No one to help them when they get sick or injured. That simple broken leg, a manageable issue in a group, becomes a fatal problem when you're alone. Think about it. Who's going to stand guard? Who will forage for resources while another defends the home? Who has the medical knowledge you lack? The truly prepared person understands this. They don't just build a stockpile, they build relationships. They know their neighbors. They are part of a trusted network where people share skills, resources, and responsibilities. One person might be a nurse, another a mechanic, another a gardener. Together, they form a resilient unit that is exponentially stronger than any individual. The first 24 hours of a crisis will be defined by either connection or isolation. Those who choose isolation are betting against thousands of years of human history. It's a bet they are almost certain to lose. Now for a huge logistical blind spot, the bug-out plan. So many preppers have this romanticized vision of grabbing their perfectly packed bag, jumping in their modified 4x4, and heading for a remote cabin in the woods. Sounds great, right? Here's the reality. In any major urban or suburban crisis, the roads will become impassable within minutes, not hours. Everyone else will have the same idea. The highways will turn into massive parking lots filled with desperate, scared people. Gas stations will run dry instantly or become dangerous hotspots. That pristine bug-out route you scouted on Google Maps? It's now a trap. You'll be stuck, a sitting duck, burning precious fuel and exposing yourself to danger. Even if you plan to go on foot, are you truly prepared to hike 20 miles with a 50-pound pack while in a state of high stress and with potential threats all around you? Have you ever actually done that? not on a sunny weekend, but in the chaos of a real event. The smarter approach for the vast majority of people is to bug in. Your home is your fortress. You know the layout, it provides shelter, and hopefully you've prepared it to be defensible and sustainable for a period of time. Bugging out should be an absolute last resort, not plan A. The people who survive the first 24 hours are often the ones who had the wisdom to stay put, secure their location, and assess the situation from a position of relative safety rather than rushing out into the unknown chaos. Let's touch on the gear obsession. Many preppers fall into the trap of believing that having the most expensive tactical gear will save them. They have the latest knife, the best water filter, the most advanced GPS. But gear is useless without the skills to use it effectively, and more importantly, the physical fitness to handle the demands of a survival situation. Can you use that ferro rod to start a fire in the pouring rain with numb fingers? Or have you only ever practiced in your backyard on a dry day? Can you carry your 50-pound bag for more than a mile without being completely exhausted? A crisis is physically brutal. You might have to walk long distances, carry heavy loads, board up windows, or defend yourself. Without a baseline of physical fitness, your body will fail you long before your gear does. Dehydration, exhaustion, and minor injuries can quickly spiral into life-threatening emergencies. The truly prepared person prioritizes practical skills and physical conditioning over collecting gear. They practice fire starting in bad weather. They know basic first aid. They maintain a level of fitness that allows them to perform strenuous tasks. They understand that the ultimate survival tool is not in their bag. It's their own mind and body. In the first 24 hours, it's not the person with the most gear who wins. It's the person who is the most capable. Finally, we have to talk about information and adaptability. Many preppers operate off a single, rigid script. When event X happens, I will do Y and then Z. But real crises are never that simple. They are fluid, chaotic, and unpredictable. The plan you spent 5 years perfecting might become obsolete in the first 5 minutes. What if the disaster isn't an EMP but a chemical spill? What if your bug-out location is suddenly at the epicenter of the problem? The prepper who is mentally rigid, who cannot adapt their plan to the evolving reality, will fail. Survival is improvisation. It's about observing the situation, gathering real-time intelligence, and making the best decision with the limited information you have. This is why having a hand crank or solar-powered emergency radio is infinitely more valuable than another case of canned chili. Information is the single most valuable resource in a crisis. It allows you to understand the nature of the threat, know which areas to avoid, and learn where potential help or resources might be. The survivor is not the one with the thickest binder of plans. It's the one who can throw the plan away and think on their feet. They are humble enough to admit they don't have all the answers, and adaptable enough to create new ones as they go. So, to wrap it all up, the reasons most preppers would fail in the first 24 hours have little to do with the size of their stockpile. It's the failure to manage psychological shock. It's the fatal belief in the lone wolf myth. It's the logistical fantasy of a clean bug-out. It's the obsession with gear over skills and fitness, and it's a crippling inability to adapt. True preparedness isn't about hoarding things. It's about building capabilities. It's about mental resilience, community bonds, practical skills, physical health, and flexible thinking. It's less about preparing for the end of the world and more about being ready to handle a very bad day, week, or month right where you are. So ask yourself, are you just collecting supplies, or are you building real resilience? The answer to that question could make all the difference. Thanks for watching today. This was a heavy one, but super important. If you found this useful, give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more content that makes you think. Stay safe, stay smart, and start building real preparedness today. See you in the next one.